Why would my mother and father, who insisted money was too tight for a family trip, let my nephew Ethan sprawl across a first-class seat while I nursed a cramped leg in economy? I'm Emily Carter, a 38-year-old nurse from Denver, a woman who's stitched up her own heart more than she's mended others. That day at the airport, watching Ethan, my brother Ryan's smug little prince, sipping juice while mother and father fussed over him, something inside me snapped. I'd spent years swallowing their excuses, their quiet preference for Ryan, the son who kept the family strong, while I was left to prove my worth alone. This trip was supposed to be different, a rare chance to knit us closer. When they canceled, citing costs, I booked a budget flight for a work conference, hiding my hurt behind a tight smile. But seeing Ethan up there, with my parents' proud grins reflecting off polished leather, lit a fire I couldn't douse. Why the lie? What secret were they guarding behind those doting eyes? Their laughter floated back to me, oblivious, as a memory stung. Father's gruff voice years ago, "Boys build the future." Was that their truth? Or was something darker tucked beneath their favoritism, waiting to be unraveled? I sat there, pulse racing, the ache of being unseen warring with a flicker of hope, because I wasn't truly alone. There were others who saw me, who valued me, even if my own blood didn't. I vowed then to dig for answers, sensing they'd shatter their perfect facade, and maybe, just maybe, free me to rise from their shadows. Life in Denver weaves a quiet rhythm, where my days as a nurse mend broken bodies and, sometimes, my own spirit. Growing up, the Carter household pulsed with unspoken rules. Ryan, my brother, basked in mother and father's adoration, while their only daughter learned to carve her own path. Their favoritism wasn't cruel, just constant, a soft neglect that taught resilience. By 18, independence became my armor, and nursing my calling. Each patient's gratitude fills a void, a reminder that worth isn't tied to family approval. This year, hope flickered for a family vacation, a rare chance to stitch our frayed bonds. Mother's voice, warm but firm, promised a week in Florida, sun, laughter, togetherness. Weeks later, father called, his tone clipped. "Money's tight, Emily, we can't go." Disappointment stung, but years of being sidelined dulled the ache. Swallowing pride, a budget flight for a nursing conference in Miami, the kind with narrow seats and no legroom. Jacob, a fellow nurse with kind eyes and a steady laugh, noticed my quiet mood. "You're tougher than their excuses," he said, his words a gentle nudge toward courage. His belief lingered, a spark of warmth in a heart used to standing alone. Denver's spring air carried a restlessness, urging questions about why mother and father's love always tilted toward Ryan. Childhood memories surfaced, Ryan's trophies displayed proudly, while my academic awards gathered dust. Their excuse about money felt flimsy, a thread begging to be pulled. At the hospital, between shifts, colleagues became a surrogate family. Leela, with her sharp wit, and Jacob, whose quiet support hinted at something deeper, though unspoken. Their camaraderie grounded me, yet the airport moment gnawed. A vivid image of Ethan's smirk, mother's glowing pride, father's approving nod. Why had they lied? What justified such a stark divide? Digging deeper, a conversation with Leela revealed Ryan's recent boasts about his startup, a tech venture splashed across Denver's business pages. "He's living large," she said, but word is it's all smoke and mirrors. Suspicion bloomed. Had mother and father funneled money to prop up Ryan's facade? The thought twisted like a knife, But another memory intruded. Father's old stories about a family legacy, a trust meant for future generations. He'd always spoken vaguely, his eyes on Ryan. Could that be the key? Was there a hidden fortune shaping their choices, one they'd never meant for me? Jacob caught me lost in thought one evening, his voice soft. "Whatever they're hiding, Emily, you're strong enough to face it." His hand brushed mine, a fleeting touch that stirred a flutter of possibility. Romance wasn't a luxury I'd allowed, but his presence felt like a promise of support, maybe more. At home, my small apartment held traces of a life built alone: books, plants, a photo of mother and father from happier days. Staring at it, resolve hardened. Their lies couldn't stand unchallenged. A plan formed to confront the truth, starting with Ryan's gilded world. Late that night, an email from the conference organizers arrived, confirming my attendance. Attached was a passenger list for networking, standard for such events. Scanning it, my breath caught. Ryan's name was there, booked on the same flight in first class. Not just Ethan, but Ryan too? The discovery jolted me, a puzzle piece that didn't fit. If money was tight, how could they afford this? What game was my family playing, and why was I always left on the outside, peering in? A deeper secret loomed, one that might unravel everything I thought about love, loyalty, and the people who raised me. The hum of the airplane cabin couldn't drown out the ache pulsing through my chest as Denver faded beneath the clouds. That image, Ethan's entitled grin, mother's adoring gaze, father's proud nod in first class. Years of being the overlooked daughter had forged a quiet strength, but this betrayal cut deeper, a wound too raw to ignore. Nursing shifts had taught me to stay composed under pressure, yet composure felt like surrender now. Something was wrong, and the truth demanded to be chased. At the Miami conference, the hotel's polished halls buzzed with professionals, their chatter a stark contrast to my inner turmoil. Jacob's text arrived during a break. "You've got this, Emily. Don't let them dim your light." His words, steady and warm, stirred a flicker of courage, a reminder of bonds beyond blood. Between sessions on patient care, thoughts drifted to Ryan's presence on this flight. Why was he here, flaunting wealth mother and father claimed they lacked? The passenger list, still open on my phone, taunting me. Ryan Carter, first class, seat 2A. A reckless urge to confront him surged, but caution prevailed. Answers required strategy, not impulse. Back at the hotel bar, Lila's voice crackled through a late-night call. "Ryan's startup is a house of cards," she warned, her Denver gossip sharp as ever. "He's been whining and dining investors, but the numbers don't add up." Her words painted a picture of my brother's charmed life. Lavish dinners, a sleek office, all propped up by questionable deals. Suspicion tightened its grip. Had mother and father bankrolled this charade, choosing Ryan's ego over their daughter's dreams? The thought stung, but Lila's next revelation hit harder. "Your parents were at his last investor pitch, cheering like he's the second coming." Their blind devotion to Ryan, to Ethan, felt like a wall I'd never breach. Wrestling with that truth, a memory surfaced from a long-ago summer. Father, his voice heavy with tradition, had shown Ryan a faded family crest, speaking of men who carry the Carter name. Mother, ever his echo, had nodded, her eyes skipping over me. That moment, buried deep, now felt like a clue, a thread tying their favoritism to something older, more rigid. Could their lies about money hide a deeper allegiance to legacy, one that excluded me by design? The conference's final panel blurred as my mind raced, plotting ways to unearth their secrets. Jacob's unexpected arrival at the hotel lobby jolted me from my thoughts. He'd flown in for a last-minute session, his grin softening the weight of my questions. "Couldn't let you face Miami alone," he teased, but his eyes held a quiet understanding. Over coffee, his presence steadied me, a lifeline amid the storm. Sharing my suspicions about Ryan's startup felt natural, and Jacob's suggestion to check public records for financial ties sparked a plan. His hand grazed mine, a fleeting warmth that hinted at possibilities I wasn't ready to name. For now, his faith in me was enough. The next morning, a chance encounter in the conference hall shifted everything. Ryan stood near a sponsor booth, his tailored suit a stark contrast to the exhaustion in his eyes. Our gazes locked, and for a moment, guilt flickered across his face. Guilt, not arrogance. He approached, voice low. "Emily, about the flight, it's not what you think." His words, vague and rehearsed, only deepened my distrust. Why the secrecy? Why the need to explain now? Before I could press, he was pulled away by a colleague, leaving me with more questions than answers. Boarding the return flight, my resolve hardened. Mother and father's lies, Ryan's shaky empire, the family crest, all pieces of a puzzle I'll solve. Jacob's parting words echoed, "You're stronger than their secrets." As the plane climbed, a notification pinged on my phone, a public record alert I'd set up in Miami. It flagged a property lien tied to mother and father's home, linked to Ryan's company. My breath caught. They'd risked everything for him. But why? And what else were they hiding, locked away in the shadows of our family's past? Denver's skyline gleamed against the dusk, a stark contrast to the storm brewing within my heart. The lien on mother and father's home, tied to Ryan's faltering startup, pulsed like a warning. Years of nursing had honed a knack for spotting cracks in facades, and my family's polished exterior was splintering. Ryan's guilt at the conference, his cryptic, "It's not what you think," gnawed at me. What drove mother and father to risk everything for him, while their daughter remained an afterthought? At the hospital, the rhythm of patient care offered a fragile anchor. Lila's sharp insights cut through my haze during a coffee break. "Ryan's been dodging creditors," she confided, her voice low. "Those first-class tickets, pure theater to keep investors fooled." Her words unveiled a calculated ploy. Ryan's lavish displays, Ethan's privileged strut, all propped up by mother and father's blind faith. The revelation twisted the knife. My parents had chosen to bankroll a mirage, leaving me to scrape by. Yet Lila's gossip hinted at more. Whispers of a family fund Ryan had tapped, one never mentioned to me. Memories of childhood surfaced, sharp and unbidden. Mother, her hands gentle but firm, once redirected my college savings to secure Ryan's future, promising fairness later. That promise never materialized. Father's tales of a Carter legacy, a trust meant to honor tradition, always centered on Ryan, never me. Suspicion coiled tighter. Had they funneled a hidden inheritance to prop up Ryan's crumbling empire? The lien suggested desperation, but the trust hinted at a deeper betrayal, one rooted in values that prized sons over daughters. Jacob's steady presence at the hospital became a lifeline. During a quiet shift, his warm gaze met mine over patient charts. "You're unraveling something big, Emily," he said, his voice a soft tether. "Don't let their choices define you." His words sparked a resolve to dig deeper, and his fleeting smile, a mix of admiration and something unspoken, stirred a warmth I hadn't dared name. Romance felt like a distant luxury, but Jacob's faith fueled my courage. With his tech-savvy help, public records were scoured. revealing mother and father's mortgage had ballooned to cover Ryan's debts. The numbers didn't lie, but they didn't explain everything. A visit to mother and father's house, under the guise of a routine dinner, offered a chance to probe. Their cozy Denver home, filled with framed photos of Ryan and Ethan, felt like a museum to their favoritism. Mother's chatter about Ethan's school accolades stung, her pride a silent rebuke. Father, sipping coffee, boasted of Ryan's big plans, dismissing my nursing career with a vague nod. Their warmth masked a cold truth. My place in their hearts was secondary. Steering the conversation to finances, their evasiveness was palpable. "We're fine, Emily," Mother said, too quickly. Father's eyes darted away, a tell I'd learned to read. Later, in their study, a locked drawer caught my attention while Mother fetched dessert. Nursing instincts, quick, discreet, urged action. A paperclip and a hairpin later, the drawer yielded a folder labeled Carter Trust. Heart pounding, a glance revealed legal documents tying the trust to Ryan's startup with mother and father's signatures. The amounts were staggering, far beyond a simple loan. This wasn't just favoritism, it was a deliberate choice to erase me from a legacy meant for us all. The folder slipped back as Mother's footsteps neared, but the discovery seared my resolve. Jacob met me at a diner that night, his concern softening the edges of my anger. "You're close to the truth," he said, his hand steadying mine. His touch, brief but electric, hinted at a connection I longed to explore, yet the folder's secrets demanded focus. Sharing my find, Jacob suggested cross-referencing the trust with county records. His belief in me felt like armor, but doubt crept in. Why had mother and father hidden this? Was their love for Ryan so absolute they'd sacrifice everything, even their daughter's trust? The next day, a courthouse visit uncovered a bombshell. The trust wasn't just funding Ryan. It was tied to a family estate, a property father had never mentioned. Its value dwarfed the lien, hinting at wealth deliberately withheld. But one detail stopped me cold. The estate's deed required a male heir to inherit fully. My breath hitched. Was this the heart of their betrayal? A rule that locked me out, not just from money, but from belonging. As I left the courthouse, a text from Ryan flashed on my phone. "We need to talk, now." His urgency chilled me. What did he know, and why was he reaching out just as I'd found the estate's secret? Dust motes danced in the dim light of mother and father's attic, where forgotten relics of our family's past lay buried under years of neglect. The Denver air outside carried a late spring chill, but up here, the weight of secrets felt heavier than the musty boxes. After the Miami conference, resolve had hardened. Ryan's crumbling empire and my parents' blind support demanded answers. A weekend visit to their home, under the guise of checking in, offered a chance to dig deeper. The attic, rarely touched, seemed the place where truths might hide. Among yellowed photo albums and chipped china, a small locked chest caught attention. Brass clasp, tarnished but sturdy, bore the faint outline of the family crest father once revered. Heart pounding, the lock yielded to a hairpin's coaxing, revealing a stack of letters tied with faded ribbon. The topmost envelope, addressed in grandmother's elegant script, bore my name, Emily. Shock rippled through me. Why had this been hidden? The letter's words, penned decades ago, unveiled a staggering truth. Grandmother had left a trust fund for both Ryan and me, meant to secure our futures equally. But mother and father, swayed by tradition, redirected my share to Ryan's education, deeming a daughter's ambitions less vital. Each sentence burned like a brand. Grandmother's hopes for my medical dreams, dreams I'd buried to become a nurse, had been deliberately thwarted. Her words painted a vision of a woman who saw my potential, who believed in equality, only for her legacy to be twisted by my parents' bias. Tears blurred the page, but anger steadied my hands. Their betrayal wasn't just financial. It was a theft of my future, a choice to dim my light for Ryan's fleeting glory. The attic's silence felt complicit, as if the house itself guarded their shame. Jacob's voice echoed from a recent call, his encouragement a lifeline. "You're more than their choices, Emily." His faith, coupled with the fleeting warmth of his touch in Miami, stirred a longing for connection beyond this pain. Downstairs, Mother's laughter floated up, oblivious to the storm brewing above. How could she smile, knowing they'd sacrificed my dreams for Ryan's failing ventures? The letters hinted at more, references to a family estate, a property tied to the trust, now in Ryan's name. Had they funneled everything to him, even grandmother's final wishes? Resolve surged, tempered by a new question. Why hide this from me? The chest held one more surprise, a legal document, half finished, transferring the estate to Ryan's startup as collateral. My breath caught. Mother and father hadn't just favored him, they'd gambled their legacy on his lies, leaving me nothing but scraps of truth. The document's date, just months old, suggested this wasn't ancient history, but an ongoing deception. Fury mingled with purpose. These letters could expose them, but timing mattered. A public reckoning loomed, one that would force them to face their choices. Slipping the letters into my bag, the attic stairs creaked underfoot, each step a vow to reclaim what was mine. Jacob's next visit to Denver was days away, and his steady presence would ground me as this fight unfolded. The trust, the estate, grandmother's faith, they were pieces of a puzzle I'd solve. But as the attic door closed, a chilling thought struck. Tucked beneath the letters was a note in Father's handwriting, dated last week. Meet R at the bank. Finalize the transfer. Whatever they were planning, it was happening now. And if I didn't act fast, the last of grandmother's legacy and my chance for justice might vanish forever. Golden light spilled across the Denver Community Center, where the annual gala hummed with laughter and clinking glasses. Tonight, the stage wasn't just for awards, it was my battlefield. Months of nursing patients through pain had honed a quiet resolve, but grandmother's letters, tucked safely in my purse, fueled a fire to confront the betrayal that had shadowed my life. Mother and father sat near the front, their smiles polished, oblivious to the storm about to break. Ryan, ever the charmer, mingled with local elites, Ethan at his side, both basking in a spotlight I'd never known. The gala honored community heroes, and my name was on the list for outstanding service. Stepping to the podium, heart hammering, the weight of every overlooked moment pressed against my ribs. The microphone gleamed, a tool to reclaim my voice. "This award isn't just mine," my voice began, steady despite the tremor within, "but for every woman who's been told her dreams don't matter." The crowd leaned in, sensing something raw. Jacob, seated near Lila, met my gaze, his nod a silent anchor. His presence, steady as ever, reminded me of bonds forged beyond blood. Words flowed, weaving a story of dedication, but the truth clawed to surface. My family taught me strength, I continued, pausing as Mother's smile faltered. But they also taught me what it means to be unseen. Gasps rippled through the room as grandmother's letters were drawn forth, their faded ink a testament to stolen dreams. Reading aloud, her words echoed, "Emily, your future is boundless." The revelation followed. Mother and father had siphoned my trust fund to Ryan, prioritizing his ambitions over mine, chaining me to a life of struggle while he soared. The crowd's murmurs grew, eyes darting to my parents. Father's face reddened, mother's hands clenched, but silence bound them. Ryan shifted, his charm crumbling under scrutiny. They chose legacy over love, my voice pressed, and hid a family estate meant for both of us to prop up a failing empire. The legal document projected on the screen behind showed their signatures, tying the estate to Ryan's startup. Denver's leaders, neighbors, and friends stared, some in shock, others in quiet support. Lila's fierce clap sparked applause, a wave of solidarity washing over the room. Mother stood, her voice sharp. "Emily, this is private." But the plea rang hollow, drowned by the crowd's swell. Father's glare, once intimidating, now seemed small. Years of their dismissal, every ignored achievement, every sidelined hope poured into this moment. "You made it public," my response came, calm but unyielding, "when you chose Ethan's first-class seat over your daughter's future." The room erupted, voices rising in my defense. Jacob's proud smile, a beacon in the chaos, hinted at a future where I wasn't alone. Stepping back, the weight of silence settled. The galla's host, a respected councilwoman, approached, her hand on my shoulder. "We see you, Emily," she said, her words amplifying the crowd's support. For the first time, validation wasn't a distant dream, but a tangible force, wrapping around me like armor. Ryan ushered Ethan out, his face a mask of defeat, while mother and father sat, isolated in their shame. The reckoning felt bittersweet. Justice tasted sharp, yet the family I'd longed for slipped further away. As the applause faded, a new tension stirred. The councilwoman whispered about a local journalist in the crowd, one known for exposing corruption. Had my speech caught her ear? The documents, now public, could unravel more than family secrets. Ryan's startup, already teetering, might face scrutiny beyond repair. Walking off stage, Jacob met me, his hand grazing mine. He murmured, his eyes holding a promise of more than friendship. But a glance at Mother revealed something chilling. Her expression wasn't just anger, but fear. What else were they hiding? As the gala continued, a text from Lila lit up my phone. "Check the news. Ryan's investors are pulling out. Tonight." My pulse raced. The truth was spreading, faster than I'd planned, and something told me the real storm was only beginning. Denver's skyline glittered under a twilight haze, but the city's pulse thrummed with whispers of scandal. The gala's aftermath left the air charged, my public stand against mother and father's betrayal rippling through social circles. News vans lined the streets by morning, their cameras hungry for the collapse of Ryan's startup. Documents, displayed at the gala, proof of misdirected trust funds and a family estate funneled to his failing venture, had ignited a firestorm. Nursing shifts resumed, yet colleagues' nods of respect replaced the usual bustle, their quiet pride a balm to old wounds. Local headlines screamed of fraud, detailing how Ryan's tech empire, once Denver's darling, had cooked its books to lure investors. The lien on mother and father's home, tied to his debts, became public fodder, stripping away their polished facade. Neighbors who once envied their perfect family now turned away, their whispers sharp with judgment. Leela, ever my ally, sent a link to a viral article, Carter Family Secrets Exposed by Hero Nurse. The words felt surreal, a mirror to the pain I'd carried, now transformed into a beacon for others. Jacob's text followed. "You've changed the narrative, Emily. Proud of you." His words warmed a heart still raw from battle. At the hospital, a patient's gratitude, her hand squeezing mine, echoed the gaulless applause. Years of being sidelined had forged resilience, but this moment crystallized a truth. My worth wasn't tied to mother and father's approval. Their favoritism, rooted in grandmother's betrayed legacy, had crumbled under scrutiny. Ryan's investors, spooked by the fraud allegations, fled, leaving his startup in ruins. The estate, meant for both of us, was frozen by legal action, its fate uncertain. The victory tasted sharp, not sweet, as the family I'd once craved unity with fractured beyond repair. A visit to mother and father's home, unannounced, became inevitable. Their living room, once a shrine to Ryan's trophies, felt hollow, the air thick with defeat. Mother's eyes, red-rimmed, avoided mine. Father's shoulders slumped, his voice gruff. "You've ruined us," he said, but the accusation lacked force. Their defense unraveled as they admitted to shielding Ryan's failures, driven by fear of tarnishing the Carter name. "We thought he'd save us," Mother whispered, her words a confession of misplaced faith. The admission stung, yet it freed something within, a release from the need for their validation. Jacob joined me that evening at a quiet diner, his presence a steady harbor. "You turned pain into power," he said, his hand covering mine, the touch sparking a hope I hadn't dared name. Romance, long buried under duty, felt possible now, a future where love didn't demand sacrifice. His belief mirrored the community. Council members had reached out, offering support for a women's advocacy project inspired by my story. Denver, my home, had become a family of choice, its embrace stronger than blood. The fallout continued, relentless. Social media buzzed with hashtags, #JusticeForEmily, amplifying the call for accountability. A local TV segment featured interviews with women who'd faced similar betrayals, their voices weaving a tapestry of solidarity. Grandmother's letters, now shared online, became a symbol of dreams reclaimed. The estate's legal battle loomed, but its exposure had shifted power, giving voice to the silenced. Mother and father's social standing, once unassailable, lay in tatters. Their smiles from that first-class flight, a distant memory, just as I'd silently vowed. As night fell, a new urgency stirred. Leela called, her voice tense. "Emily, check your email, now." An anonymous message waited, sent from a cryptic address. Its subject line chilled me. The Carter Trust isn't the only secret. The body contained a scanned photo, a younger mother, holding a key, standing before a locked vault. The note beneath read, "Ask about the safe deposit box. It's not over." My pulse raced. The Bala had exposed their lies, but this hinted at a deeper betrayal, one tied to something they'd guarded even from Ryan. What else had mother and father buried, and how far would they go to keep it hidden? Dawn painted Denver's mountains in soft hues, a quiet promise of renewal after the tempest of truth. The scandal's echoes lingered, Ryan's startup dissolved, mother and father's reputation in tatters, but the city's heartbeat felt lighter, as if my stand had cleared the air. Nursing shifts resumed with a new rhythm, each patient's smile a reminder of purpose forged beyond family ties. The safe deposit box, hinted at in that cryptic email, yielded no grand revelation, only old jewelry and grandmother's diary, its pages reaffirming her belief in my strength. That was enough. Some secrets, it seemed, held no more power. Mother and father's silence grew permanent, their calls unanswered, their presence a shadow I chose not to chase. Reconciliation once seemed vital, but freedom tasted sweeter. Their choices, laid bare at the gala, had severed bonds too frayed to mend. In their place, a chosen family blossomed. Leela's fierce loyalty, colleagues' warm nods, and Jacob's steadfast presence. Dinner at his apartment, plates clinking over shared stories, wove a delicate thread of romance. His gentle question, "What's next for you, Emily?" sparked a vision of a life no longer defined by others' expectations. Love, tentative but real, bloomed in the space where duty once stood. The community center, site of my reckoning, became a sanctuary. A grant, inspired by my story, funded a program for women reclaiming their voices, classes on empowerment, skills, and healing. Leading the first session, surrounded by eager faces, felt like honoring grandmother's unfulfilled dreams. Their stories of overlooked ambitions, of rising despite pain, mirrored my own, weaving a tapestry of resilience. Denver's embrace, from council leaders to neighbors, replaced the family I'd lost with one built on mutual respect. The estate's legal battle resolved quietly, its funds redirected to the program, a final nod to justice. Evenings at home, my small apartment glowed with new warmth. Plants thriving, books stacked high, a single photo of grandmother now framed. Her legacy wasn't in wealth, but in the courage she'd instilled, a gift mother and father could never steal. Social media posts about the program spread, with women across Denver sharing their triumphs under hashtag Justice for Emily. Each message felt like a ripple, proof that one voice could spark change. Jacob's quiet pride, his hand steady in mine during a walk, anchored me in a present unburdened by past betrayals. Peace settled, soft but unshakable. The first-class seats, once a symbol of exclusion, faded into irrelevance. My worth wasn't measured by what others withheld. Mother and father's downfall, Ryan's fall from grace, were no longer my story's center. Instead, purpose defined the days, saving lives at the hospital, uplifting women at the center, and nurturing a budding love with Jacob. The ache of being unseen had transformed into a quiet dignity, a life crafted on my terms. Denver's mountains stood sentinel, their strength a mirror to my own, as the future unfolded, not as a daughter seeking approval, but as a woman whole in her truth. Denver's autumn leaves swirled, a vibrant dance mirroring the newfound lightness in my soul. The storm of exposing mother and father's betrayal had settled, leaving behind a clarity that reshaped everything. Nursing remained my anchor, each patient's recovery a quiet victory. But the women's empowerment program at the community center became a beacon. Its classrooms buzzed with stories of resilience, from single mothers to overlooked daughters, their courage a testament to the power of speaking truth. Leading them felt like carrying grandmother's torch, her belief in me now a legacy shared with others. Jacob's presence wove deeper into daily life, our evenings filled with laughter and dreams of a future unshadowed by past pain. His proposal to co-lead a health workshop for the program sparked joy, a partnership rooted in mutual respect. Romance, once a distant hope, now bloomed naturally. his steady hand a reminder that love could be kind. The city's support grew, with local businesses sponsoring our classes, their trust a far cry from the family who once dismissed me. Denver had become more than home. It was a community that chose me, as I had chosen it. Mother and father's absence left a faint echo, but their silence spoke louder than apologies ever could. Their world, built on favoritism and secrets, had unraveled, while mine flourished. Ryan's name faded from headlines, his empire a cautionary tale. The estate, reclaimed through legal battles, funded scholarships for women in the program, turning betrayal into opportunity. Each graduate smile erased the sting of first-class seats, proving worth isn't measured by others' choices, but by the lives we touch. Reflection brought a profound truth. Family isn't blood. It's the people who see your light and lift it higher. Grandmother's diary, now a cherished keepsake, taught me that strength lies in embracing your own story, flaws and all. The program's success, covered by local news, inspired women beyond Denver, their letters pouring in with tales of reclaimed dreams. This wasn't just my victory, it was ours, a chorus of voices rising together. To every woman watching, know this: your worth is yours to define. Have you ever felt unseen, your dreams pushed aside? Don't let silence bind you. Share your story in the comments below. Let's build a community of courage. Subscribe to join our journey to hear more stories of women rewriting their futures. Like this video if you believe in the power of your voice. Together, we can turn pain into purpose, creating a legacy not of secrets, but of strength that endures.